Happy New Year, Pagosa Springs. Every time at the start of a new year, I get very sentimental about the possibilities of the upcoming year, and I'm filled with hope and excitement about what's to come. And hopefully, we'll have quite a bit more weather like this. More snow is always a good thing. We need the moisture in our mountains and for our drought conditions. All right, let's jump into the first two government meetings for this year, 2022. We'll start off with the easy one, the County Commissioners meeting that was held on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Basically, the only thing you need to know here is that the commissioners extended the local disaster declaration that was created on December 31st to February 2nd. This declaration allows customers who lease propane tanks from Bob's LP Gas to use other propane companies to fill their tanks. There's been quite the issue with getting some of these tanks filled during this time of snow and cold. So this declaration literally is a lifesaver for so many people here in Pagosa Springs. All right, on to the town meeting that was held later that night. And it was a head scratcher as there was quite a bit of confusion as to what to do about a certain ordinance. This all goes back to the topic of workforce housing. One key point before we start, there were only 6 council members present, with Madeline Bergen absent for the night. Under unfinished business, Ordinance 966 was passed to give the town some flexibility in the Land Use Development Code for workforce housing projects. In order to make some of these developments work, the town may choose to delay or get rid of certain development regulations. For example, the town could choose to delay the requirement of paved streets for a workforce housing project. Now, the next two ordinances are related to each other, and I thought they would easily pass. Ordinance 967 removes the requirement for the annual tourism fund budget to direct a majority of funds for external marketing. And it passed unanimously. And you thought, hey, maybe the next one will get passed unanimously. And this is where it gets interesting. The third ordinance, Ordinance 968, amends the municipal code to allocate up to 50% of the annual town revenues derived from the lodger's tax to housing projects or other town infrastructure. Again, I thought this would easily pass, but when it comes to these ordinances, the chance is always given for the public to make some comments. And if you ever watch one of these meetings, there's always a certain individual who speaks up at nearly every single opportunity for public comments. And on cue, this individual spoke up and took issue with the phrase up to 50%. He wanted to get rid of the words up to and force all 50% to go to workforce housing rather than giving the council the ability to adjust the percentage as needed. And this is where it starts to get a bit confusing. Matt DeGraff agreed with this individual. He wanted the council to be known for giving all 50% to workforce housing. So he quickly made a motion to deny this ordinance, which was seconded by Jeff Posey. But right after that, the town attorney mentioned that a motion could be made to approve the original ordinance language from a few weeks ago that didn't include the up to phrase. But because DeGraff already made the motion to deny this ordinance, council had to go ahead and vote on DeGraff's motion. But now, because DeGraff wanted the opportunity to vote on the original ordinance language instead, he voted to deny his own denial. Others followed, which then led to a second motion to approve the original ordinance without the up to language, but that failed to pass, which opened the door for a third motion to approve the ordinance as presented. And it was a split vote of 3-3 because Councilmember Bergen was absent, which meant that the ordinance failed. And this was just completely bizarre to me. Council had the opportunity to move forward here. 50% will go towards workforce housing, regardless of whether or not the phrase up to is included in the language or not, because they are gonna make sure that happens. But because a few council members wanted to make a statement here by removing 2 words, we're back to the drawing board. Even Councilmember Matt DeGuise mentioned earlier here that future councils could choose to modify or get rid of this ordinance. So the whole issue over the phrase up to is kind of a moot point anyways. I wonder what would have happened had Councilmember Bergen been present. From prior conversations with her, my guess is she would have voted to say yes and pass the ordinance as presented. 50% is going to workforce housing regardless if the phrase up to is in the ordinance or not. Plus, it's always a good thing to provide more flexibility to council to adapt with changing market conditions. Most likely this will get ironed out and this ordinance will come back up to vote at the next meeting. Hopefully this time with 7 council members present. All right, that's about all you need to know for this meeting. Look for a real estate market update coming out here soon in the next week. It is a doozy as this market shows no signs of slowing down at all. The question is, can we expect double-digit growth again in our housing values for 2022? Stay tuned. Cheers, Pagosa.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you're looking to move to this magical town and need to buy or sell a home, I'd love to help guide you. And if you're a local business that would like to collaborate to make cool content, contact me. Cheers, Pagosa.